Hunter Podcast, everybody. My name is Jordan, your host, and joining me today, we have Joseph, and we got Charles. And welcome, everybody, to the Skull Hunter Podcast. This podcast is brought to you by Anchor. You'll be hearing a lot about them later on in the video. So, got my boys. How's it going? Joseph, you looking fine right now. Oh, my God.
Thanks largely to you. Yeah. Running in 60 FPS. Just careful to... must look directly forward, because then otherwise, oh boy, my eye's gonna hurt.
That's fair. I mean, that's so for those of you who don't know, when you're watching the podcast and stuff like that, don't think about what's behind the scenes of what the viewers see. So I want to take this tiny little opportunity and literally show you the kind of stuff that we as streamers need to pay attention to. And it's literally a ring light staring us right in the eyes as we're recording almost every piece of content. So if you're ever curious on, oh, you guys look good, it's because of lighting. We're not in a dark room, trust us. We're not, well, someone is now, but we have lights peering into our souls. Charles, how you doing? How you doing? You look like you're ready to fight.
I've been doing alright. I freaking still can't believe I have it. Freaking video I did for this past weekend's freaking Royal Rumble pay-per-view freaking blew up, and it wasn't a single asshole in my comment section for once.
Yeah! Woo!
Nice.
And also my channel freaking gained a few more subs, which is also nice.
Nice, dude. Keep up the grind. For the podcast listeners and for audio listeners, wait, I just said that. Audio listeners and video listeners, hey, I'm back in the studio. Audio quality sounds a little bit better. So it's great to be back. It really is. Sorry for last week's YouTube video. We were starting to get some massive views, and we had no audio. We had no audio on the YouTube side, and it took our co-host, the architect, to point it out to me, and I went, that's weird. Okay, it's probably nothing. Go on. We had none. So for the whole week of the podcast being out, we had no audio at all.
I like that James says, so you don't have any audio. And you're like, that's interesting. I wonder what he means. I better listen to the video. We don't have any audio.
It's because I was like, you know what? Because when I exported it, it worked. It was fine. That's how I got the video podcast out, and I listened to the video podcast on my workout, so I knew it was fine. And I was like, okay, cool. We're going. We got it good. And then it was all of a sudden, it was like the YouTube didn't have audio. I went, I was just checking later, and I checked, and he was right. James may not be back from getting that milk, but you know he's still texting his children. So you know I respect that.
I realized this. I was saving this for when James comes back, but that could be any time between now and 2024. So I was just like, I take like a week off, right? And the running joke is, well, Joe's dead. we straight up killed the guy. James is gone for I don't know what 8 episodes now. I was like, no, he's just at the convenience store. He's just getting milk. He'll be back anytime now. So the longer you're away, the more pedestrian the reason is.
I also like it because there was like a podcast you guys did without me, like 2 podcasts you guys did without me, and the ongoing thing was just he had some things to do. We're gonna take over. It went from having things to do. Joseph is dead, and now Daddy's going to get milk. So, Charles, if you leave for even a day, I am terrified what's going to be said about you.
Went off to freaking fight, freaking the war, freaking fight. They went off to kill Covenant.
Okay, so while Charles is killing people and fighting the Covenant, now that is some stuff that is going down right now. Halo, this past day or so, has released their trailer. And they released a trailer, and we had some unhappy fans about it. So
fans.
Yeah, this day and age, it's just fans at this point. So let's let the biggest fangirl of Halo, let's let him talk about it. Charles, tell us about the trailer, and then tell us how you feel about it in the most respectful, just way about it.
John, you've known me for how long? You know I don't do that kind of bullshit.
Fair enough. Well, how do you feel? How do you feel about it?
I think personally, I thought the trailer looked really good. The elites looked exactly how I imagined in this kind of setting and everything. I like the fact that they got the actors that played the characters really well. I know people are bitching and complaining because of Cortana's new look and freaking Master Chief's new voice. That really didn't bother me much. And it's still gonna be weird seeing a human working with the Covenant because apparently she was raised by them, which freaking that's just a completely freaking weird thing in itself. And it's also glad to see that along with fellow lore nerds, that I like to watch and everything, we're geeking up because there's a character that is only known like a side thing that I don't know how many people actually read it, whatever, listened to it, whatever. The fact that they're actually going to have him involved in this series too, that was pretty cool. And I'm also just glad knowing that this show may not be canon to the freaking what we've known so far. But but they're still going to be going off a lot of the lore and everything. But at least this way, if they freaking do something stupid like kill a character people like, it won't freaking affect anything because it's freaking, like I said, it's not canon. They can do whatever the heck they want, but at the same time, it's still going to remain for the most part faithful to the whole thing. But my one gripe with the fucking trailer was the fact that there was a goddamn AK-47 in the thing.
So the fans are upset because an AK-47 was involved in the makings of Halo.
Also, did we just notice like the switch there, which was it's not canon, so it's not like it affects the main story.
And
moments
then
later, and AK-47s. What is this for?
It's the immediate flip, and that is why we love everyone here.
By the way, sorry, I just noticed that like my video screen is bopping every now and then. I think it's because I'm in the wrong USB port. Sorry, viewers. I'm aware. I am a work in progress. So therefore, everything I do is a work in progress.
Hey, you know what? The thing that helps is you keep going. You learn from the mistakes. You learn from the things you couldn't control, and you start controlling them. So
I could control this, and I still screwed up. But thank you.
Shut up.
What happened to shut your mouth? That was like your catchphrase for a while there.
Oh yeah, shut your mouth.
Yeah. I gotta go back to that. I like to shut your mouth.
Okay.
I also like it how all the UNSC weapons looked exactly how they do in the game.
Yes.
And the Marines look, or freaking whatever the UNSC soldiers will be called in this, because they have different branches of the military. I'm pretty sure they're probably Marines, whatever. And the 3 new Spartans they're introducing, their armor looks great because, and like I said, the Covenant looked great. And,
I thought Cortana looked pretty good. I thought, I mean, respectfully, characters when they're cast, sometimes they're not the same skin color, they're not the same gender, they're not the same species. So I would say that Cortana was pretty gosh darn accurate to like how Cortana looked, at least in the first couple of games. So that actually was pretty good.
I like her look in this series and a hell of a lot more than I did in Halo 5. Fuck that game!
Okay, well, don't go dissing on my Katana or my Cortana or my Alexa, whatever you want to call her. Because she's my girl. If you know me, any female girl that turns evil in a video game, I'm down to go. Like Cortana.
Kerrigan?
What?
Also,
StarCraft?
Never played it. Never seen
No,
it.
you would like Kerrigan.
Okay.
Also, spoilers.
Also, something I found out from looking up the wiki for the TV series. Apparently, Captain Keyes and Miranda Keyes are going to be in it, along with a freaking Oni bitch. Freaking that seems to cause a lot of issues.
I mean, that would be exciting. That would honestly be exciting to see. And
Does that explain to that old officer was talking to Halsey at one shot in the trailer? I think that was Captain Keyes.
Who names their child Keyes?
Isn't that the last name?
Yeah, but you still have the choice to go and change the last name. Like you could have called him Karen. You know what? I understand why they didn't go that one. But they could have like done something a little bit more, like a little bit of a twist to it, not Key. Hi, my name is Michael Key. I know that's the guy's name, but still, like it's like Key has the last name, Captain Key, Dr. Key. Can you help? I gotta unlock this patient badge. Bow out. Like it just doesn't work out the way that people expect it to. I personally love the
Definitely-
ad. I personally love the trailer. I want to make sure that is stated. I honestly really enjoyed the trailer, being a massive Halo fan.
Yeah, I thought it was. I thought it was pretty good. I have lots and lots of respect for Halo. Played through part 2 on Legendary, so I feel like I've paid my dues.
Yep.
Flashbacks.
Dude, the worst part is, Charles, we still gotta go back through and lasso that.
Fuck that.
There is only like 4%. Actually, not even that. There's less than a 4% of people who have actually gotten the lasso achievement. We gotta go in, boy. We gotta do it. So, look for that in the future, because it will be coming out. So what in the trailer we got to see? We got to see someone have an AK-47 that I know a lot of people are upset about. Including yours truly, Charles, who looks like he's gonna take out a certain individual. And then you have Master Chief's voice actor. I know that triggers a lot of people, but also think about it. If you're a main voice actor for a big game like Halo, it's expensive to get you back in. Like, it's so expensive to get the same voice actor constantly because they want more money or they need more money. Like, so I get it there. And the Cortana, people aren't happy with because apparently she's not the exact same from the show, but only way you're going to get that is by animating Cortana. And people have high expectations for it, but if you want it to be RL, you got to sit there and accept the fact that people look different in real life.
I guess I can see the complaint though with the voice of Master Chief, because it's one thing to not get the same voice actor. It's another to change the whole tone of the character. Like, you can hold auditions for gravelly hero character who wears a helmet and is never seen but sounds pretty dope. For reference, look at these clips from Halo. and so to go that far in a different direction, I can only assume it's a conscious choice that they want to portray Master Chief as somebody a little bit more relatable. Not maybe not necessarily to us, the audience, but to the other characters, because it's going to be more dialogue, more interacting with other people, less like, so Master Chief, the Covenant are coming back, and you wanna kill him? I need a weapon. Like, I remember playing Halo 1. It wasn't that long ago, and I don't think Master Chief says anything for like the first 2/3 of the game. The first time you hear him say something is when Cortana is explaining the whole like thing they find underground. He goes, "Slow down, you're losing me." I'm like,
He actually does talk in the first mission.
In the first mission? Okay, fair enough.
He talks to the captain.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Just Captain Keys, and then he talks to Cortana a bit, and then they have a bit of discussion, thinking with him and Cortana. It was like the first time they were starting to seem like they were flirting with each other, and then thinking,
Have you seen Cortana? 8-bit?
I got it.
Cortana
Master
8-bit,
Chief.
man.
Right this way to the exit. Master Chief?
Yeah, that also
This way
happens
to the
in there.
exit.
Yeah.
Chief,
There's a
you coming
whole
to the exit?
Easter egg achievement that you can get on like legendary mode. I'm pretty certain that evolves around that. So yeah, I mean, you can. Oh no, it's after you get into the captain's room where the captain's talking to you and all this stuff. If you kill the Marine or something like that, it opens up a door and there's like Easter eggs and stuff in there. And then you're all getting hunting down. Yeah, a ton of Easter eggs. I love Halo for that. Joseph, you made a lot of good points. I mean, anyone could, and we know there's people out there. There's people on TikTok alone who can do the voice of Master Chief. So it's probably they were trying to get a new throw their seeds in the grass and see what grows. Like they were probably going on a line about that. But I was curious, who can give the best Master Chief impression they got? Like, could one of us be the new Master Chief? Maybe. Well, okay.
I think if I were 50 years old and a heavy smoker, I think I can do it.
Okay, well, give us.
I need a weapon.
Okay, just say Cortana in like the Master Chief voice.
Cortana, I need a weapon.
Okay, Charles.
No.
All right. Well, I'm giving myself a 6 out of 10. I felt that was.
Yeah. You know.
That was like
honestly,
Newgrounds
I
Flash
noticed-
cartoon good.
The thing I noticed, it took me a couple of times to actually look closely when I was watching the trailer. There was a handful of shots where they were holding a rifle that I literally realized that's the DMR with the freaking scope on it.
Yep, I saw that immediately. The DMR is one of my favorite weapons in Halo because it never disappoints, unless if you're playing gun games on Halo, and then it disappoints every single time. But
Before we move on, by the way, before we switch
yeah.
subjects, I do want to ask a question.
Yeah.
Do your thing. I just want to make sure you know that I have a question ready.
yeah, I mean, go ahead.
I can ask it now. I mean, because sometimes we transition to the next subject.
Yeah. I don't usually ask everyone. I'm like, hey guys, are we good to go? I skip past that and just go, hit me with the next one, baby. Yeah. So no, I mean, we're getting ready to move over. So what kind of questions you got?
So, what I want to know for both of you being big Halo fans is what will you find satisfying in watching this show? And let me just explain the philosophy behind this. So, we have games, and then games are things that we play. But play is something that people can just do. Like if I go play Star Wars, I go pick up my toy lightsaber and start going woom, woom. There's not a win condition. It's not a story. I'm just playing Star Wars. So playing Halo was you're shooting guns, driving around in warthogs. You need context to build off of that, whether that's a story or competitive multiplayer, all that good stuff. So what you're about to do is you're about to watch people play Halo. They're going to pretend to shoot each other, pretend to have the conversations with the Covenant, pretend to the swords and all of that stuff. So what's going to be your fulfillment? What's going to be satisfying to you as Halo fans to see portrayed on screen in this way?
I already have my answer. I want to hear from Charles though. What's your answer?
When I see if they have somebody come in playing as Sergeant Johnson, or when they have Master Chief quoting a bunch of his famous lines from the games into a Cortana. If they bring up the whole "don't make a girl promise if you know you can't keep it" line, I am literally going to scream like a girl.
It's fair. So you're kind of hoping for the Easter eggs from the game to show into the movie.
If I could see outside of what characters that are on the wiki already for the TV series, if we can actually pop up or get referenced. If they reference the Arbiter, I'm going to be freaking happy as shit.
Okay, that's fair.
I know Truth, Regret, and Mercy, the Prophets, are going to be in it because there was a shot in the trailer where you can see them.
I need to rewatch. Guys, a fun note. I did not see the trailer until 2 minutes before the podcast.
20 minutes before the podcast for me.
Okay. Well, yeah. So Charles actually had a chance to really, really geek over. So we'd love to hear you guys' opinions in the comment section down below, wherever you can send us a comment at. We would love to know your feelings on the Halo trailer. And so my opinion, honestly, is I want to see the fight scenes, because I think that's what everyone want to see. When you think about Halo, you're kind of there. You're playing Halo. You don't just want to see the gunfights. You want to see Master Chief get on top and just the action. You want to see that because that's going to give you that adrenaline boost. I want to see that for the enjoyment of watching it. I want to see the fight scenes. I want to see the car scenes. I want to see that stuff. I want to see it Fast and Furious. That's what I want to see with it. Mm-hmm. For my personal a film creator side, I want to see how good of details they got to do. I want to see the guns and seeing how they're able to get those. I want to see the Warthog replication. I want to see how they address the Army Rangers and stuff like that. I would love to see how they were able to do it to make it where it is now. So I'll probably watch it twice, one with the not the credits, but the dialogue with it, and then the actual movie. But biggest thing is the fights. I really want to see the fight scenes. What about you, Joseph?
So for me, the earliest and I guess my most treasured Halo memory is when I finally had a decent PC, and I didn't buy Halo the game. I just downloaded the free demo. Mm-hmm. So the one level they give you is Silent Cartographer, and I will say, after having played the whole game, I still think that opening scene from Silent Cartographer is probably the best fight sequence when everyone lands on the beach and they're storming the beach. Yep. And there's this huge.
I was going to say that's the best parts in Halo 1.
Oh, yeah. I think so, and that's why they made the demo that level. They knew that was the thing that was going to get people to buy the game, to be convinced that this is what Halo was about. So I kind of agree with you, Jordan. But what I want to see is if they can capture what it feels like to be good at the game, where it's a plays Master Chief expertly, grabs grenades, tosses it out, bashes the guy in the head, and is just able to flow from one action to the next.
Yeah.
And I think this is also about how game design for a long time has been influenced by TV and movies by creating these sequences that do make the player feel like they're part of the narrative. And so if they can find that balance, I would be interested in seeing that. Although I have to say, we're probably not going to see like the silent cartographer as part of the thing. It's not
going to see like a whole
there.
freaking like platoon of like 20 Marines and Master Chief, just freaking guns blazing, freaking storming up.
At least not in good detail. Like we won't see.
There was
like
a fight scene in the trailer that had Master Chief fighting two elites.
Mm-hmm.
They were swinging their swords at.
That's what I want to see. Like I want to see the hands-on combat with it. Because shooting a gun, we could watch almost any movie, and we could probably see that. Hell, some romantic movies, guys are in the military, they'll be fighting guns and stuff. We could literally see that anywhere. I want to see the hands-on, hand-to-hand combat. I want to see that. That would be amazing.
Got that shot in the trailer, like I was talking about. Thinking it looked pretty good.
And it would also be cool too to see if they integrate the whole shielding system, where you can actually see Master Chief get shot, get clobbered, get hit in the head with a mace and stuff like that, and see him like roll with the punches, get back up and keep fighting because he's got the energy shields to restore his health. So I know that's very much like game mechanic, but how often are people pulled out of the experience because the hero it just like has this reverse gravitational field where bullets just like whiz past him, and it's very rare to have a show or a movie where the heroes really do get shot and beaten up. This is a chance to show that Master Chief, as good as he is still a human being in a suit. Is he a human being? Is he a human being?
He's human.
Okay, I don't know that part.
Apparently there was a bit where if you watch closely when that shot in the trailer I was talking about the elites fighting Master Chief. You can actually see when the swords are when Master Chief is dodging the energy swords, you can see that his shields flicker.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Good detail.
Once again, we saw it shortly before the podcast. So, what we could be saying is literally just right there in the trailer. But if that truly is the case, though, I mean, imagine just the effects that they're gonna have with the fan base really seeing that, and not just the flicker of that could have just been a bullet glazed him, and it caused sparks, or it could be what Charles is saying, like his armor's going up. One thing, as soon as you were bringing that up, immediately I was like, oh man, that's gonna suck when he hits Task Command. I was like, oh man, that's gonna suck, and I was like, what if he hits Task Command? I hope they bring some sort of computer joke inside. That would be the best thing.
Or there's a part where he's got a rifle and he's got a pistol. It's like, hey, Master Chief, grab that shotgun. He's like, what's wrong? Just get the gun. I can't. What do you mean you can't? I can't. I can't.
I only got two. Just pick it, put it in your other. Pick it up. I can't do that. Where are you putting your rifle? Well, I put that back here. Okay, you got to pick up the shotgun. I can't do that. What? You have to choose.
Get those extra grenades. I got 4. What am I, greedy?
Yeah, that's what happens in the game.
Like Borderlands, you can carry like a freaking small arsenal.
But see, that's another reason why I really do like if Halo's doing this. Like Borderlands, you carry like an arsenal with you where you can just like decide what you use. Halo, you get 2 options, and those are your 2 options. When you pick up a gun, guess what? The other goes on the ground. Even if it's empty, it goes on the ground. So that's something I really do like about Halo. So I hope they like give out little Easter eggs like the Halo games do. I hope they have massive Easter eggs.
That from they showed the Phantom in the trailer, it actually looked freaking great.
It did. The Phantom looked good. Like I said, everything looked good. I know why people are complaining. Unfortunately, no matter what you do, it could have been the top quality, everything else. They could have practically gave us the whole film in that trailer, and people would find a reason to complain that it's too short or it's too long, or like it's gonna be a situation. There's nothing that any company can do to satisfy the whole fan base. Even when you're
inadvertently calling it like film, by the way.
What is it? Is it a TV show? Is it a movie? What is it?
It's a series.
It's a series. Is it a movie series or Okay, so it's a TV series.
It's a movie if you watched it back to back.
Well, I think of a movie of just like one movie. It's like Harry Potter. It's movies. Like I watched one movie. I watched the second movie. I don't. If it's something where it's like, oh well, it has an episode. The first episode comes out tomorrow. The next episode comes out next week. Like that's a series for me. So that's like a TV series for me. So I separate those two like that. And I know that's not the right way to do it, but it's just what it is. That's how I see it. So is it like going to be a 40-minute long episode, or is it going to be a movie that translates to another movie shortly after?
All I know is that it's supposed to be an episodic series.
I thought it was going to be like Star Trek. Where it's just no, actually, I can't use that reference because they're Star Trek movies.
Okay,
never mind.
I got so confused. I was like, wait, I thought Star Trek was a movie.
Yeah, I forgot that there's the Star Trek movies. I mean, it's known to be a TV
Halo movie though. If this freaking series goes over well, maybe they'll finally make a fucking movie.
Hey, you know what? At least Microsoft has got this in hand. So before we move on to our next topics, does anyone else have any final words for Halo, or maybe let's just say Microsoft sees this and they're like, let's make something happen, or maybe not Microsoft, but whoever makes the movie sees this and going, we could try to make that happen in After Effects. What would you say?
All I have to say is, I wish Halo fans luck on this one. Every fan of every series is going to have to face the day where their favorite game is adapted into a movie or a TV series, or both, if we can't make up our minds. And one of these days, I'm going to have to deal with that for Zelda, and I'm not looking forward to that day. It frightens me.
To have to talk.
He's gonna. Well, that I'm actually not too afraid of. It's
along if it doesn't have
them
a deep
trying
voice.
to just like. Pardon me. Go ahead.
Along if Link doesn't have a deep voice, I'll be okay. Like I don't feel like Link should be like.
I figured he was gonna sound like
got
Luke Skywalker from like the original Star Wars trilogy, like a higher pitch, a little whiny.
Okay, yeah, I could do that.
Yeah, I figured he was gonna, and I figured they would characterize him like that too. I'll tell you guys what I'll do you guys the same treatment for the Zelda movie when they announce it that I did for the Mario movie, and give you guys my plot, because believe me, do I have a plot for a Zelda movie.
Okay.
Hopefully it'll be better than thinking.
When they announce the Zelda movie, I'll do it.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you're gonna talk about it now, but okay. So later this year, they're gonna announce it at E3 if they decide to go.
God, I'm so scared of that. I really am. I'm really frightened of it.
Dude,
like
I get it because you see something that you love so much and you don't want to hate it. You don't want anything to make you hate it. That's why when Activision does their nonsense, I hate it because I love Call of Duty. That brought me to where I am today. I don't want to see it fall, but it's fucking crumbling. So
at least with Call of Duty, I'd be like, man, how do we make a war movie? No one's tried that before.
Well, but think about it though. Think about it. If they made a Call of Duty into a movie, how would you do that? How could you make Call of Duty that has a campaign that explains it all right there and then? How to make that into a short movie that it still tells you the story in a short time period and keep it accurate and keep the fans happy and make it good? Like, that's gonna be hard as hell to do.
Well, it's Call of Duty, so I would imagine they would just tell like an original story for that, but it has a lot of the things that people usually expect from Call of Duty. And maybe you'll see like a character that's a popular character, like Soap or Shepard.
Fuck Shepard!
Man, but okay. Charles, any final words on the Halo trailer? I'm gonna stop calling it a movie.
I'm just hoping that this series goes well. It doesn't end up turning into another pile of shit like the Assassin's Creed movie.
I hope so too. Speaking of,
also thinking, like I was saying, thinking if you want to make like Call of Duty like movie or something, just ask those guys the Defiant Makarov thing.
Yeah, that's true. And if you wanted to see the trailer for yourself, I'm not going to link it down in the description below. It should be on your trending anywhere you go. So I highly recommend giving it a view. So while we're talking about things we don't want to be trash, let's talk about the things that are trash. Let's talk about PlayStation for a minute. So Sony had to step up. I don't give a fuck, bro. Like, I support Sony 100%. I'm using a Sony camera. I love you guys. I don't like your decisions, but I like you. So Sony has bought Bungie. So after Microsoft has went out and bought every big company that's making billions of dollars, Sony said, I want a piece of that pie. I want a piece of that pie. Sony has purchased Bungie. I'm getting the exact number up now, but Sony has purchased Bungie for $3.6 billion. And people who make or Bungie owns Destiny, Halo Reach, right, Charles?
Bungie made Halo all the way up until Halo Reach, but then they just done Destiny and freaking whatever that new IP that they've been saying that they're working on right now.
Okay, I just had to be sure. I know biggest one that people are gonna remember is Destiny. I know a lot of people are gonna think of Bungie and they're gonna think Destiny because that was one of their biggest achievements, I would say. But
Besides
Bungie,
Halo.
yeah, besides Halo, but that's where, and we're gonna leave the full article in the link down below. I'm not gonna read through the whole thing, but because they made Halo, do we think this is where we can finally start seeing Halo on the PlayStation stores?
Oh Jesus!
Like,
I give that slim odds.
see, I give it super slim odds, but if Bungie fights enough, because Bungie made the original 3 Halos, if they put in that fight, could PlayStation see Halo on their platforms? Like,
I just think it's like it's going to be way too much capital to use up for it when at the end of the day most Halo fans are going to buy it on Xbox or computer. I just don't think it's going to be worth all the effort because they need to really be smart about what they do with their resources.
I agree, bro. But they went out and bought Bungie, so I don't think that was a great cost for the resources.
Okay, what games were Bungie known for before Halo?
None. At least none that I know of.
that you know of. See,
Okay.
Bungie, for geezers like myself,
Old.
yeah, that's what I just said. Jeez, Louise.
Bungie's known for the Marathon series.
I mean, I understand. I think you eclipse me in gray hairs, but still, I am definitely the older one out of the two of us. Oh God, you almost
Well
spat your
played.
teeth there. Yeah.
Well played, son.
Thank you.
Okay, so go ahead.
That experience has to be worth something. So Bungie, there's a game series that Bungie made. There's a few of them. One of them was Oni, which was like one of the early cel-shaded action anime games. I know nothing about it, so I'm not going to speak to it. But there was a Bungie game that is absolute gold and is considered to be a treasure by many of the older generation of gamers. That's the Myth series, not Myst, the point-and-click adventure. Myth. The top-down real-time strategy game known for being absolutely brutal in terms of difficulty, as well as being exceedingly bloody and with a great sense of humor. The Myth series, remember we were talking about last episode, how there's a lot of games that could use a revival?
Oh, yeah.
Well, if they Myth, there's a game that's going to make me want to get a PlayStation because it is an absolute treasure of real-time strategy. You really got to think carefully. It's not like a base building real-time strategy where you can just pump out as many units as you need. In this, it was the kind of game where you start off with a small army. You're almost always outnumbered, and you had to be crazy resourceful to get through it. So you're always fighting an uphill battle. It's always hopeless, but somehow if you know what you're doing, you can persevere. And Bungie has some other games even prior to that. There's one called the Marathon series. Did you say it? You said Marathon? Yeah. So Bungie, this is what we were talking about, and this is what I've got. I'm dying to see come out of Sony is them going through their backlog, going through their history, and bringing each and every one of these into the limelight because there is so much rich history just waiting for its turn to come back. I mean, they've remaked so many games in between, like the release of Myth and now. Like Resident Evil came out, I think probably around the same time. They remade that, and now there's like 12 other Resident Evils. The Resident Evil 2, they remade Resident Evil 2. Games have gone through the games are on their second remake or on their HD update, and Myth hasn't had jack squat. It is damn time we see that game series come back. Only hard part is that real-time strategies on a console have never been easy to do. So they would have to integrate the Move controllers, I assume, just to have a chance. So maybe they'll turn it into like a God of War game or like a Souls game or something. But they got to do something.
Okay.
Marathon is what Halo and Destiny were heavily based off of, especially Destiny.
I
Halo.
did not know that. I truly
Like a
didn't.
lot
know
of the shit we used, there's a lot of references to Marathon, Halo, and Destiny.
Okay, when we go back through the Halo, you gotta show me the things that were referenced. That'd be a fun little history lesson for me.
Launcher and there's a Claymore sword from Myth in Destiny right now, and a shotgun and grenade launcher from Marathon in Destiny.
Right on, right on. So now I
And
will.
obviously, and Magnum from Halo.
Hey, that's awesome.
And the battery.
I will give this to Sony though. At least they didn't spend over $30 million on one company. Like you know what? At least they didn't. They only spent 3.6 billion, not 30 billion. So I give them props for that, not spending that much money. But I think they did this out of desperation. I don't think they did this because this has been a long-term thing they've been wanting to do. I think they did this because they were worried about Microsoft coming in and buying it and putting it in their collection. That's why I made the harsh comments on Sony. I like PlayStation. PlayStation I love Sony, but I just feel like they did this because they're worried now because Microsoft's apparently on a spending spree. So
Bungie wasn't ever going back to Microsoft because they split from them so they could make a different game besides Halo. That's why they partnered up with Activision for some stupid reason if we can make Destiny.
But in the same sense too, though, they didn't partner away from Microsoft. They just partnered away from the other people who were making Halo because they wanted to make something that with their name on it. They wanted to make something that like they could fully control again. And I think Halo was kind of getting dominated from all these other companies and all the other not owners, but kind of the owners of Halo just being like, no, this is ours. You do this for us, back off. Like
I remember that Bungie was going to work on Halo 4, but then they were like, "Freaking after Reach, we're done. We're doing our own thing. We want to make something else." And Microsoft was like, "You're only leaving if we freaking let you, and if you give us Halo."
And you know what? If that was a decision for Bungie, and then I mean, this probably is the reason why Sony was able to get Bungie at a cheap cost, and it could be a highly positive thing, but yeah. So that's
Bungie's been working with Sony as far as Destiny is concerned for a while because at one point, PlayStation had exclusive stuff in the original Destiny.
What happened to that?
Xbox for a while. As far as I remember, I just remember that when Taken King came out for Destiny 1, that's when the PlayStation exclusive stuff came over. For the longest time, PlayStation Destiny players had an exclusive Strike and two exclusive exotics, a Monte Carlo auto rifle and the Hawk Moon hand cannon.
Okay.
And exclusive Crucible maps and everything. We had to wait till Taken King came out to get that shit.
I will say, I think one thing that's challenging Bungie right now is their dedication to Destiny. Is that because they have to constantly maintain that game, it does make it difficult for them to put the resources together to start working on other projects.
Yep.
So I think being acquired by Sony will allow them to maybe start maybe they can add some extra staff to the company, start managing Destiny, and then
diligence.
Yeah, and then Bungie can focus on creating something new.
It's still going to be independent and multi-platform, apparently. It's just going to be like a little sub thing from freaking Square Enix.
Yeah. The other thing I want to say too, just to your point, Jordan, about it being like an act of desperation, I 70% agree with you. To me, the mindset that I imagine Sony having was like we have to do something. It's not like, oh god, we're out of options. Who's left? Bungie? Okay, whatever. Anything will do. We're drunk. It's like, but we have to make a call. And the fact that Bungie has such a long legacy with Microsoft does show that Sony is saying, well, we're not just going to take this lying down. We're still in this fight.
Yeah. And I mean, that's true. I guess when I said out of desperation, I should have definitely clarified it a little bit more. But in the same sense, I do see it's still like on a panic side. Like they had to do something. And there's rumors coming out there with everything else about the things that they're going to be doing and the steps they're going to be taking. Why not make those rumors become reality? Why not come out and say, we're going to do this because all the rumors are coming out about it. Let's do this. Like, boom, that would immediately right there blow up their people's eyes and be like, okay, Sony's actually doing the stuff that's, we've heard little bits about. And that's what I thought was going to be the next route, is to be sitting there trying to go that end, not buying Bungie. Like, that was something I did not expect them to do. I didn't think they would go out and buy another company. I thought they were just going to go, okay, that's fine. Let's make these rumors come true. Let's make people want to buy PlayStation so you can play those old games, those games you have that nostalgia for. Let's remake some of the models of games so you get that nostalgia back. But let's make it PlayStation exclusive. Like, get a hold of these smaller companies that helped us, and let's make it only on PlayStation. Like, I thought they were going to go that route. And that's why I didn't choose my words right, but I felt like they jumped ahead and said, we should buy a company right now so we can start taking before it can be taken away. But like I said, it didn't go the route I expected. It honestly didn't. I expected them to make rumors come true, not buy a company. Once again, I will clarify this. I have no hate for Sony. I have no hate for PlayStation. I love the company and I love the products they make. I feel like they had to jump on something. I don't feel like it was the right decision. But like you said, it could be a big thing for Bungie. It could be a big opportunity for Bungie to now jump on top of things and start making new games and they could make the next Doom of our generation. Like, they could end up making something like that to where it goes out for years and years and years down the line and people going, this was a great game. And Bungie had the time now to make it. Like, so it could be a good thing for Bungie and maybe for PlayStation. You're like, okay, let's just do this. That'll be on the news. That will give us some press and stuff. It's only $3.6 billion. We can do that. Get some press. Let Bungie now give us some control so we can take over some stuffs and they can focus on things that are blowing up. Because what if they're making a huge game right now and they're like, we just don't have the time. Sony said, okay, let's buy you. Let's take that over. Let's take over your current game. Focus on your new game. Like, maybe that's why they decided to jump. But for me, it's just the timing. The timing was the biggest thing. That was my biggest issue with it.
For me, it's so that, in my case, I think it was so that Bungie would still be able to do their thing and still be able to continue with what they are playing for Destiny 2 and the expansions that are coming up and everything, and to have the backing where they can actually freaking make the next couple of expansions as big as one of the best ones that they've done in the case of Forsaken.
So I know one of the big things with Destiny is the raids. Are they still keeping up with the raids?
Yep. And they're not taking certain ones out, but freaking the ones that they're still in the game are freaking do it pretty good.
Good. I'm actually glad to hear that. I think that was a big thing that Destiny did. Like, when I think of Destiny, I think of Destiny raids. And so, I mean, I remember watching Achievement Hunters. That's when they first announced Alfredo Diaz, and they were doing Destiny stuff. And, they were like, oh, okay, let's do this. And it was Destiny raids. And that's where I kind of got that little key locked in. But I thought doing that stuff was pretty cool. So do we have any final words or opinions on Sony's purchases, and any last words on it?
As long as Sony doesn't freaking try to do what Activision did and fuck with Bungie's shit, I'm freaking unhappy.
Fair. Joseph?
How could there be a Destiny and a Destiny 2?
Because of Activision.
But it's a Destiny. And I think, Joseph, are you going off the name thing?
Yes.
That's what I figured. Is how could it be a Destiny, but then you have a Destiny 2? Did they actually call it Destiny 2?
What kind of guy would allow that?
Did they actually call it Destiny 2, or did they call it like something else, like Destiny the Revisited or something like that?
It's been called Destiny 2 since 2017. And they only made Destiny 2 because Activision freaking made Bungie make a sequel to the game, even though they freaking wanted to support the original one.
So Bungie would like to make Destiny 2. Bungie, I think you missed the point.
Well, let's not call it Destiny 2, maybe?
See. If you guys know the story of Final Fantasy, at the time when they first made the very first NES Final Fantasy, Square was having a heck of a time. They just could not get a game to sell. And so when they made Final Fantasy, that was them coming to terms with the fact that this is actually our last go of it, fellas. So this doesn't work. We're screwed. And then Final Fantasy actually turned out to be pretty well. And then they went, oh, well, I guess we're just, all right, well, this is our life now.
Interesting complaint about Destiny 2 because literally people even said when it first launched, it felt like this should have been like an expansion to Destiny 1. I kind of agreed with it, even though I didn't mind how it was, because I still enjoyed the game and everything, but it wasn't anywhere near as good as it should have been. And like I said, people, even me, agreed that it probably should have been an expansion instead of trying to sell it as a full game and everything. But that's why I blame on Activision, because those are the assholes that are the reasons for a lot of the issues that happened. And that's why Bungie celebrated when they finally split from those pieces of shit.
I can't blame them, especially on the Activision side, because they made some really, really poor decisions. But speaking of some poor decisions, we have an all-timer segment. Make sure you play along in the comment section down below. And we have an all-timer segment, boys. All-time hardest achievement you've had to get on a video game.
Getting Halo 2 on Legendary.
Getting Halo 2 on Legendary.
Okay, well, yeah, I was going to...
You want to go 3 for 3?
No. I was, because that wasn't hard for me. Like, I had to beat
100%
Superman here.
But I had to. This is the reason it wasn't that hard for me. I had to beat the final boss on my own. Charles had to go eat like chicken nuggets or something. I had to do it on my own.
Birthday.
I don't care for the right reasons. Okay, I had to eat, or I had to kill the boss on my own. Okay, that was hard as a. Oh, that was so difficult to do. But I
came back to help.
You came back because I was out of ammo and I had to go across and you're like, I'll do it. You fired like 4 fucking shots and killed him. You're like, yes! I went, that was mine! I was like, you stole my kill! You stole the blood from me! But honestly, that wasn't the hardest one for me. I think the hardest achievement I had to get was is currently one I'm working on at this moment. And it's beaten Resident Evil 3 the remake. Beaten Resident Evil 3 the remake on the hardest difficulty in under 2 hours and get an S.
That sounds hard.
It's a hard one for me right now. But honestly, if I had to actually go and say the hardest achievement before this previous one, and I still haven't gotten it, but if I had to say the hardest achievement I had to was honestly it was Halo 2 Legendary because no joke, like that there's a reason why it's listed one of the #1 hardest games to get that achievement on is because you have Jackal snipers that has the worst aimbot. I like how everyone immediately just goes, oh my god. It's like that's PTSD right there. Then you have the boss. Charles, what was the boss name that we had to fight in the narrow room with the gravity hammer and that he was yeah, so that was that honestly.
I think the prophet of freaking regret because that motherfucker was a bitch to fight too.
Dude, it took us 6 hours. We did 2 streams, guys. We did 2 like 3-hour streams. One actually went 4 hours, but we were getting to that point. We did a total of 7 hours trying to beat this boss. And it was to the point where Charles wasn't saying anything. I wasn't saying anything. We were ready to just end it. Like I honestly thought the Halo series was gonna end, and we were ready. We're ready to stop, walk away. But that achievement is so picky because it took 7 hours to beat a boss, not to beat the game, not to beat a level, beat a boss. So it was a lot of aggravation, and then plus I was trying to play it with only the old graphics. I was trying to play it with only the old graphics until a copywritten song came on, and then I had to switch back because
that was the best part of Halo 2.
It was, but I couldn't listen to it in the fight scene, so it sucked. But yeah, those are our hardest achievements, and we want to know what's your hardest achievement or trophy you've ever had to fight for on a video game. We'd love to hear it in the comment section.
I do want to give a runner-up, but this is a very specific reference. It was a DS game, original DS game called Elite Beat Agents, and it's a rhythm game. So like Dance Dance Revolution, but there would be these.
I'm a survivor on the hardest difficulty.
I had to beat all the levels on the hardest difficulty. That was that was a challenge.
One rhythm-based game that had like I'm a survivor, where it was like coming at you like really fucking fast, and you had to beat on the hardest difficulty.
The thing is that I don't remember all of the songs from Elite Beat Agents, but I think that one actually might have been one of them. So I'm not 100% sure. But here's the thing. This is the reason why I bring it up is because they had this mechanic, which was an awful idea. It was a wheel. So usually you would just like tap the screen. So a ring would enclose around a number. So it'd be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and you would go. And that was most of the game, right? There's a Japanese version of it too with Samurai, but they couldn't translate it. I forget what that one's called. And then there was a wheel, and you would put your stylus on the screen, and you would spin the wheel as fast as you can, but it made people scratch their screens to hell. It was an awful mechanic, and in that the scars that my DS had are the reason why I bring it up, and the reason why it is second to Halo 2 on Legendary.
It's sad Halo 3 on Legendary isn't anyone near as hard as fucking that. Even I've never played Halo 1 on Legendary to a full length, figuring I don't plan to, figuring so don't get any ideas.
Well, Charles, wrap it up, boys. We're ending the podcast early, guys. Charles, me and you. I'm joking. I'm not doing that. I have a life to live. That's not it.
I want to live.
I would kill myself. I did no doubts. Playing Halo 1 right now, dude, my mind would just I would melt in my seat 100%. I wouldn't even do anything to myself. My brain would just explode. I would have a seizure and everything. I want to know
how hard fucking Reach in 4 and 5. Well, maybe not so much 5, because that game's a cakewalk apparently. But Halo Reach and Halo 4 are probably difficult as fuck too.
Halo 4,
I heard the final battle in Halo Reach is pretty hard. Apparently, no one's beat it.
Nobody beat Halo Reach on Legendary in a full playthrough.
I have, and I streamed it. And I did it by myself.
So, I was gonna say,
mic drop. There was an achievement for beating Legendary solo, so that's the only reason I did it. Was I played Legendary mode by myself, and Charles said, I quote, "Go fuck yourself." So
if you really want to talk about a game that might be even harder than Halo 2 on Legendary, fucking ODST.
Ooh, yeah, I'm not. No, we're not going there. I refuse to do that right now. I will go back and do them, but
Legendary.
No,
that's the one where you don't even play as Halo.
Master Chief.
Thank you.
The only reason I tried to beat ODST on Legendary is because I wanted that freaking Dare Recon helmet.
Yeah, dude, that was fun when Halo was like, hey, go ahead and beat the actual game to get cosmetics. Like, beat in the hardest difficulty, get these cosmetics. Do this and get this cosmetic for your character. Like, that was fun.
And you unlock the fucking Hayabusa armor or some shit.
Yeah, like that was great. Like, oh man, so many memories. So yeah, we all kind of have our all of our achievements and stuff. And like I said, we would love to hear you guys what you guys have to say for it.
Xbox 360 Halo, by the way.
You know what? I'm happy it's dead. I'm happy Master Chief exists. Master Chief Collection. But there's one last topic we want to talk about, and it involves the one. And shut your mouth. It involves the one and only The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Because what beats The Rock? Paper. Yeah. Sure. Okay. Guy, if you ever want to win a rock paper scissors game, don't call Charles. Just call him. You win every time. just assume the opposite. But because I was late to the podcast and I didn't get to read this, so we're gonna pass it off to our lovely boy Joseph. Joseph, tell us what The Rock is cooking.
Well, that's the thing is that we don't know. So the idea was Rock is saying that he's going to be doing a video game movie and it's going to be badass. And so speculation abound of trying to figure out what game it is he's going to do. Now, the easy money is on Gears of War.
Okay.
Which, frankly, like I've been trying to think of what other game makes more sense than Gears of War. So my vote's going to have to go for Gears of War. I think he makes.
Yeah. So your opinion is going to be on Gears of War.
I think so. I think he's got the right build, the right fit for it, and yeah, I think that'd be a fun one to see made into a movie.
Okay.
And then while I got the floor, I got to say I appreciate the Doom movie because I know a lot of people didn't like it. But I remember when the characters get into the elevator, I'm like, oh, I get it. They're doing multiplayer. Oh, now I understand this. So from that point of view, I thought, oh, this movie is actually pretty dope. And then that whole first person sequence with Carl Urban and he's like walking around the hallways.
That was a cool transition.
So frightening. Like that was very close to what I would expect if I was, on Mars in the UAC and aliens took over. So yeah, I thought I give that movie a pass. It's Doom. Try not to.
And it was cool that
try not to go in expecting like, an Oscar winner, please.
Yeah.
It's Doom.
BFG was freaking awesome though.
Dude, Doom was honestly like, I know it got a lot of heat because The Rock was evil. Like, I knew that was a big thing that people were upset about was the way The Rock Johnson played an evil guy. Like, he's an actor. It's bound to happen. But honestly,
he was a bad guy in wrestling. That's what he was known for.
Yeah,
he was like he was by far the best villain that I think ever in wrestling. Charles, you know wrestling better than I do.
He was more remembered as a babyface. That was really popular.
He got plastic surgery apparently for his boobs, because he had like some big breasts, and apparently he got plastic surgery to shrink it down. Apparently, I saw it on TikTok, so it has to be
look
true.
into that.
About that.
So it's just so close to with the Halo going on. I think it would be funny if they did like him as Master Chief, even though unfortunately it wouldn't be right. But I think that would be a cool thing. But Gears of War would make more sense. But don't you think Gearbox or not Gearbox? Yeah, don't you think they would sit there and really be shouting that out? Especially because The Rock's involved. Don't you think they would really be trying to throw the crumbs at us to make us pick it up? Like,
Batista's been wanting to play Marcus Phoenix in the Gears of War movie for freaking forever. He's been openly saying that he wants.
Yeah, but Jordan, to your point, wouldn't any developer do that?
Well, I mean, they would. They honestly would. But when you have The Rock and he's not telling you what he's making, it's a high possibility it's not a high budget game.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm stating.
Okay, that's fair.
So it could be something small that not a lot of people really care about, and that they're trying to keep lower down. And
but what low budget game has enough of a budget to get The Rock for their movie?
Well, think about it. He's a classic nerd. Like, this man plays is it him or Vin Diesel? One of them plays
Diesel's
like
a nerd.
Okay. Well, no matter what, if he really loved the video game, like let's say right now, Halo offered to cast one of us. I would do that for almost free at this point. Like, that would be an amazing opportunity to be a part of it. So if there was something
I'd love to play the role of Halo. No, seriously, I would be the Ring. Just imagine the Rock being Halo. See, Jabroni's landed on me.
Smell what the Rock is cooking.
Role as one of the psychos in the Borderlands movie.
Yeah, I mean, he would be a good fit for that. But I mean, so what I was kind of getting to is like, if there's a movie that he's like kind of get that nostalgic vibe from, he would probably do it for a lower cost, or if a smaller game developer or something like that who made a game that did all right, just not great, and they're not sure if they're going to get the rest of the cast necessary for this show. Why even say anything about it? There wouldn't be nothing. So The Rock, I mean, once again, I would think they would try to shove it out there, but if they say, The Rock is in our show, guys, and we're going to get the rest of the cast, and it's going to be great, and they don't get it, it's going to be a major letdown, and it's going to make people really question versus, oh, The Rock doesn't get this part in Zelda. The Rock doesn't get the part in Zelda. Okay, what next? And they're like, well, The Rock could be in the next Gears of War movie? And it's like, okay, cool, let's throw him in that. Like,
Oh god,
The Rock being Link.
if they cast The Rock for a Zelda movie, they should make him be the Moon from Majora's Mask.
That would be great. I would watch it. I would watch it.
I would watch that. I'd be excited for that.
If they made it as Zelda but memed it, that would be amazing.
That's why I'm hoping the Halo TV series goes over well, because then maybe they might make a Gears of War one, which would be sweet.
They might.
There's a lot of shit
They just
that
might.
referencing the lore of Gears of War that they haven't freaking covered in the video games, and they've mentioned it's been mentioned in, like, they've done it in books and whatever, and it's been mentioned in the games, the stuff that happens in the books. But it would be nice if they actually did something for once with some of the stuff they haven't done in the games before, or like with the Pendulum Wars. It would be nice if they actually go into details about that. It's mentioned a lot in the freaking games and the books, comics that they did, but freaking there's still a lot they could do with that. They can freaking have a whole video game series, like a whole trilogy, just freaking for the Pendulum Wars in Gears of War.
Yeah, they could. But then also, if you're making something like Gears of War, there's a high chance for a sequel. High chance of sequel, more money that has to get put into each one that's made. Because actors want more money. They're gonna want more money, especially if they're a main character. They could ask double their rate. And there's a high chance they would get it. Because without the main character, how can you really do it? Like, I feel like if they, and this is why I don't think it's Gears of War. I don't think it's going to be Gears of War they're working on. I think it's going to be a lower budget game of some sort right now that The Rock's casting in. Probably Kevin Hart's going to be in there too. He's probably going to be like a pot or something from Zelda. I keep going back to Zelda. Zelda's not a low budget game, but I just think it would be so funny if they memed it. Oh, Kevin Hart could be Pikachu. Oh my god, he's the right height. Kevin Hart, I love you, dude. You're funny, but no, I mean, The Rock could be Snorlax. There's a bunch of fighting Pokemon out there, and I could have just said one of them. I went Snorlax.
Okay, so at this point, they just need to cast The Rock completely against type to the point where it's obviously a joke. Like have him be Ash Ketchum from Pokemon.
Oh god.
Dude, a Pokeball wouldn't even fit in this man's hand. It would have it, and it would just be. They would have to make a bigger Pokeball for this man's hands. Because a normal Pokeball would be like the size of almost his finger area.
So Ash, do you want to decide what starting Pokemon you want? It doesn't matter what starting Pokemon I go with. And he elbow drops a Pidgey.
I actually want to see that now.
I did too, right?
Oh, please!
The world just does not have enough ironic sense of humor because it would just be so funny. Him playing it completely straight. Anyways.
Did you guys hear about the Pokemon? Sorry, video listeners, my stream deck is slow, so I'm not keeping it on people's screens on purpose. But did you guys see the game they were trying to make last week of the first person shooter Pokemon?
What?
Some game developer got bored apparently and was making a first-person shooter Pokemon game. Dude, I can't tell you how fast I tried to search that up and download it. Nintendo taking it down so fucking quick. They took that stuff down so fast. They're like, nope, we can't have this. And I'm like, come on! That would be the greatest thing ever. I would love to shoot a Pidgey out of the sky, you know? I would love to put a few in Snorlax. Like, it would be great. There was a game developer. I forgot the name. You can find it on IGN. They talked about it here recently. Even G4 talked about it a little bit. They brought it up. I was like, oh my god, that's the best. I wanted to play it so bad. I searched it up this weekend. I was like, I can make a video. Shoot one of every Pokemon. Like I was legit like, I want to do this video.
Got a giant fucking copyright strike.
You know what? It would have been. I would have taken it. Like, that would have been a fun video.
Does not freaking like people fucking with their properties.
No.
On Newgrounds, there used to be this thing called the API, which was the Assassinate Pokemon Initiative. This was back when Pokemon was at its peak popularity, and cartoon creators on Newgrounds, they would put out content of just like hunting down Pokemon and shooting them. It was brutal. But yeah, at the time, people really hated Pokemon. Some
There's a
did.
lot of
Not many.
animations on Newgrounds I like the Power Star Mario series or the freaking series about the Thwomps.
Or there's just so many great niche cartoons on there, like the Red Diamond Dragon Club. Are you gonna talk? Or am I gonna have to make it talk? They'll never get a word out of me, Murtaugh. I'm faithful to the dragon. Where's the black diamond? Tony has it. Damn
There's
it.
a long-going series of freaking Mortal Kombat freaking parody freaking was like they were doing all these freaking jokes and shit involving Mortal Kombat characters.
Oh
They
yeah.
did Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. Even had one where they had like Shawn Michaels freaking Doink the Clown freaking fuck around with people.
Dude, that's.
They even had the Rocket and freaking a hammer to the face from Shao Kahn.
I need to watch this. Yeah, so that Pokemon thing happened. I just randomly thought about it because I kept talking about the Rock and Pokemon. Apparently, I'm a Nintendo fan today. Like everything runs through my mind is Nintendo based. So maybe I'm just a Nintendo fan today. But you know, honestly, like I wanted to play that game so bad. And I found Minecraft. There's a mod on Minecraft where you can put Pokemon in, and you can eat them.
What the fuck?
If you kill a Pikachu, you can eat it. If you kill a Meowth, you get gold out of it. So I installed the mod. I was like, I'm going to eat me some Pokemon. Dude, when a Pidgey can sit there and whoop the out of you, that's when you know you're playing the wrong Pokemon. When a Pidgey can just, no, it can mess you up, dude. It can mess you up. But I was clearly stated by my fans that I love you guys that I should not play Minecraft. So I will not post any Minecraft content. Don't go back on the channel. But yeah, I put up a poll the other day. I was like, hey, I can make these 2 videos of Minecraft and or I just shouldn't play Minecraft. And a high percentage said do not play Minecraft. So
Did they say why?
No. So I put up a poll on YouTube because that's the way you can grow. And I put, should I play Minecraft? Or should I? And I put, play Minecraft with 1 heart. Play 100 Days of Minecraft. Don't play Minecraft. High percentage said don't play Minecraft. I went, okay, I'm happy I didn't make a mistake. My last video hit over 100 views yesterday, so that was great. My editing really paid out. Everything paid out for that video. It was fantastic. That, by the way, Skull Hunter Games. Make sure to check me out. So it was great, but yeah, it was one of the situations where I went, okay, I'm not gonna play that.
Minecraft's been one of those things I'm surprised we haven't played together because I thought we were trying to do our own version like the freaking Tower of Pimps.
See, so here's the thing. I never actually announced this on camera. So the thing with Minecraft was I was such a big fan of Minecraft to a point I played it every single day. We were trying to make a server together. Like I had my brother and all that. We were trying to get like servers and stuff together so we could do like things like Tower of Pimps and stuff. But I couldn't even have a way to record back then. I had no idea how to even get that started. And then without having that figured out, I finally got the idea of how to record.
Can I just?
Yeah, what's up?
Tower of Pimps? Can I just get some?
It's a Rooster Teeth thing.
It's a Achievement Hunter reference. So
Okay.
what happened is Gavin Free, the creator of Slow Mo Guys, he sat there and was playing Minecraft with the Achievement Hunters, and they were like, you know, oh, the Tower with Pimps, and it was a block of obsidian and 4 gold blocks, and Gavin was like, oh, it's a Tower of Pimps, and ever since then it kind of just became a thing. And so that's why when I say Tower of Pimps, that's what I'm referencing. And it's a big thing for Achievement Hunter. Like every episode, even to this day, like 9 years later, they win the Tower of Pimps. You compete for the Tower of Pimps. It's kind of like a little trophy in Minecraft for them. But
they were beating up Gavin for some reason.
Fuck Gavin. No, I love Gavin. So Brittany goes on constantly like, you would make everyone laugh at Achievement Hunter. I'm like, yeah. And there was a chance we could have flew down last year and meet the guys. And I went, they're gonna call me here soon. What's the point? Like, I'm on their radar to the point if I tag them in something, they will comment, they will like it, they will do whatever. I'm at that point. They know I exist. They know I exist. So it's like they're gonna hit me up one day, and it's gonna be one day soon. I'm gonna get put in front of their radar. They cannot refuse. They're gonna hit me up. So I'll just wait for that day. I'll wait for that day.
Yeah, it still works at Rooster Teeth and all that, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's what he literally plays video games for a living. That man's set. He's never leaving Achievement Hunter anytime soon.
I think Michael's still there too.
Mm-hmm. everyone's still there besides the people that got kicked out for some issues. But everyone's still there besides Fiona. She went to G4. That every time I see G4 post something on TikTok, and if it's Fiona, I'm always coming on there, Fiona, or what she also known as is Fifi. So I get a lot of people going like, you watch Achievement Hunter? It's like, no, duh. Like, I thought that was pretty obvious when I said Fifi, that was only created in Achievement Hunter. But yeah, so we talked about the big subjects today. We talked about Halo. We talked about the Halo series. We discussed Sony's little purchase that may or may not have been a smart decision. We did an all-timers. And we also decided to talk about what The Rock is cooking. So that was the Skull Hunter podcast. So let's go ahead and sell ourselves out. Charles, where can people find you? Read the script, please.
If you want to see me freaking like rant or rage about freaking wrestling or freaking occasionally upload like Halo or Destiny crap, freaking might be do like what if you want to find why I do my live stream reactions of wrestling stuff, and maybe freaking I'm still thinking about doing live reactions of NASCAR race every now and again. You go on my YouTube channel, which is called CG the Lone Wolf, which freaking gained a few subs recently because I did a freaking rage video on freaking this past weekend's Royal Rumble pay-per-view and the result and who won it and everything. And apparently, a lot of people freaking agree with me and they can think that there wasn't a single asshole.
Nice.
You know? Also, freaking I may not freaking do live reactions to freaking the Halo Paramount series, but I'm afraid I might get a copyright strike.
Understandable. And a strike is not something you want because that stays on your channel for a while and it can hurt you negatively. So yeah,
Or
CJ the
baseball.
Lone Wolf. Yeah,
I guess bowling is the only time you want to strike, right? Because a strike means you hit it in one.
yeah.
Yes.
Didn't we talk about this last week?
Did we?
I don't know. You guys are like the only people I talk to, so I.
It says the guy with the e-commerce podcast. Hey, speaking of which,
Yeah, about that. So, unfortunately, my time with Debutify and has ended as of today. I am now a free agent. I have no ill will towards.
Go ahead, Joseph.
Try that again. I have no ill will towards the company. I just it was just time for me to move on, and so I did. But I assume that they're going to get the content up. Lord knows it cost them a pretty penny. So if you want to still see what I did, you go to ECOM, as in M&M's, ONICS, and you can see what I've been up to for the last year and a half. As far as what I'm going to do now, I've got some ideas, but I'm just taking this week to just cool my gears and kind of reset and reevaluate and figure out how the fuck I'm gonna pay my rent. I mean, how I'm going to what I'm gonna be doing. Now I'll be all right. I know how to edit, so I'll find plenty of work.
Yeah, things like Fiverr. I mean, that works out really well. So did you already explain where people can find you off?
Yeah, no, I didn't. So giantenemycompany.com is my main presence, so you can always hop on over there and see what I'm up to.
All right, sounds good. This podcast is sponsored by Anchor. So thank you, Anchor, for sponsoring the podcast. We talked about them many times before, but one last quick note. Anchor is an all-in-one platform that does all your podcast needs in one place, either the website or the Anchor app. You could do it all right there. I still use that tool to this day, and it's one of the best things. So Anchor has sponsored us since episode 1 and continues to sponsor us to this day. And maybe you're like, well, I started the podcast on this platform. I started a podcast on that platform. It's so hard to switch over. It's actually not. If you get a hold of the company you started with, they will actually transfer you over to Anchor. That's how well Anchor treats their people, and that's how well you can get started with podcasting. So seriously, thank you, Anchor, for sponsoring the podcast. And speaking of this podcast, you can find us on Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, wherever you get your podcasts from. Really none of our business. And yeah, we've been running these episodes like crazy. So thank you to all the support you guys has given us. We're about to hit a total of 300 listeners for our podcast. That'll be exciting. So thank you guys so much. And last but not least, you can find me on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, anywhere you put Skull Hunter Games. You're guaranteed to find me. Just make sure it's actually me and not someone else. Apparently, there's even more people named Skullhunter Games now out there, so that's been fantastic to deal with these last few weeks. But you know what? It's good to see that. It's good to see I influence some other people for their thief of names. But you know what? I'm just happy to be here making some amazing content. And guys, that was the podcast. We did it. We haven't got kicked off yet, boys. So without further ado, goodbye, everybody. Woo!